This meeting is being recorded.
Where's the voting button?
Okay, this March 3rd, 2022, 7 o'clock meeting to order of the Parks Committee. And I'm here. George Wild's here. Tony's not here. Joe's not here.
And Shannon is joining us by Zoom. You want me to do a roll call? I'll just do a roll call.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cheryl Regan,
here.
Mr. Wild,
Here.
and Shannon Fassbender.
Here.
Well, does this constitute a quorum or what?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, we got 3 people. Yep. You're good.
Yeah.
Well, we have things to discuss tonight. I wanted to bring,
Well, let's do approval agenda.
sure, let's approve the agenda. I make a motion, we approve the agenda.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And we have to approve the minutes of
Yep.
February 3rd. I read the minutes. I make a motion, we approve the minutes for February 3rd. All in favor? Any second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
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 All opposed? Thank you. All opposed? Nope. Okay. So now we go to new business.
New business. Yep.
New business. All right. Paul Fisher Shade Tree Program and the canvas shade structures need to be discussed. I don't know if there was an update on the I had some questions on the cost of the donations amount. And I think you said you were looking further into other landscape people that could maybe bring the cost down. I don't know if you did that or not.
No, we have 2 quotes already. One, you want to touch on this next?
Yeah, so when we solicited bids last time, we received 2 quotes from 2 different landscaping companies. I believe one was right around 600, I think, in front of me.
Mhm.
And then the other one was in the lower fives. One thing we did discuss at the last meeting was averaging the price like we talked about, come up with just a general, block fee.
Yeah,
The other thing, availability and timing could be another thing too. So I think one was Schletzky's and one was Graham. Is that correct? Yeah. So I can reach out to them and run the plan that we had by doing it in phases. Remember we talked about maybe wait until we got 6
yeah.
or maybe if
Good
it's
to
super
6,
popular, maybe we do 10. We'll see how it goes when we release the program, but I can reach out and see if maybe that would be more of a bulk rate. The reason why we got the quotes, we weren't real specific because we didn't have a whole lot of details. So I'm not gonna say the price could change, but it could, maybe if they're coming out once to do 10 trees instead of 10 times to do 1. But I mean, I've looked around, that's still a pretty good price with the warranty, that we discussed. So I think that's a fair price. So.
And we finished up with what, 18 trees or 17?
So it'd be 17 more because Paul's is already planted. Yeah,
Yeah, so,
so his was the 18th tree.
okay, so it's 17 we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and it was 400 to 600 per tree.
Right, and I think,
depending on the species, right? So we just did last time we discussed, remember, we were just gonna do a round number.
Yeah.
because I wrote down, we picked on 500 average.
Okay, maybe it was 500 then,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
And we can run that by
Right,
the two outfits that we solicited quotes from.
Right.
Now, keep in mind, these quotes were received last year, so some things could change.
Hi.
Hello,
Hey, Joe.
Hi there.
so I'll state for the record, 707, Joe Brazil has joined us. Hello, Joe.
Hi.
We just discussed in the shade tree program, we we're talking about the price per tree, the average price we talked about, so. I'm fine with reaching out to get a more firm, maybe explain the program a little more, now that we have some, an actual program set, like we talked about doing it in phases.
Yeah.
And I could either just shoot an email to you guys or bring that back. I know we established, a fee in their program, we wrote, so anything less than that would just be better, but
Yeah.
and of course, we know how many trees we're going to do.
Right.
So that will help
Yep.
them to hopefully
Exactly.
give us
Yep.
a better number.
So yeah, I'll reach out to our two contacts. That's easy. And just explain the plan to them a little better, let them know we decided on 4 trees. Or the species like we discussed. And then I'll bring that back to you guys.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a meeting. We could just do an email because there's no reason we could, we can move forward with the program.
Right. Yeah. Because if we think we're ready to move forward with the program, then we need to advertise it.
Yeah, get some announcements out, use Facebook, use the bridge article like we talked about. You guys had a lot of good ideas last time. George talked about making maybe a flyer, something you guys, that doesn't need to come back to council, that can be done through the parks. They've already approved the program. So, he had a pretty good one going that everybody kind of liked. So maybe George can work on that again. And
Right, I didn't do any more till we decided
Okay.
what,
so I can get a
Yeah,
price
yeah.
back to you, but I wouldn't do,
without making it a big epistle either.
right.
you know.
And I wouldn't do tree specific species like we talked about, I would just let the donations come in. How we talked about, well, I want this tree, I want this.
No, I
tree.
think that's right. I
Yeah.
think that's.
So just
yeah.
say, sponsor a tree, the dollar amount. And, you had a pretty good idea there and you guys
Yeah.
can, it doesn't have to come back to me. We can release that to social media. Put it in the bridge, we can post it at the store, we can post it in all the spots. I think we'll get a pretty good response.
Now, oh, there you go.
Shannon,
Hey.
how familiar are you with the Paul Fisher Shade Tree Program?
Not very. I'm kind of have been listening in on what's going on and just, looked at what I got last time I was there, but don't know 100% what's going on.
Like to fill her in?
Yeah, one of the biggest complaints about Paul Fisher Park, which we consider the park, is that it gets too hot in the park during the summer especially, and especially in the playground area. So
Yep.
we're in the process of implementing a shade tree program. And this is how all this has come about. And so in the process, we have contacted several landscape companies that are, and our deal was, we don't want them to come out 1 week and plant one tree and come out the next week and plant another tree. That's not cost effective. So we've decided to group 6 trees at a time for them to come out. So that's kind of right now.
Okay.
So right now, we're kind of at a point where, and we want the landscape company to come out and plant the trees because there's a very specific way to plant the tree. And they also will guarantee up to a year, right?
Yep.
The planting of the tree. So I think now we're at a process, we're at the stage where we're ready to advertise this to the public. Because when this program was presented, there seemed to be quite a few interested people. Am I looking at you? Can you
Well,
see me?
No, there you are.
You're missing nothing, it's all right.
I know. So anyway, Shannon. And so like I said, we're at a point now where I think we're about ready to kind of advertise it and kind of get this program implemented, get it going.
So I'm assuming the money for the trees is coming from donations, not from the city budget.
Yes,
And that's really what the would be about, of what we're doing and what the average, or what the cost would be, as we kind of figured it out. Now, the other thing that people have been asking me about, and I don't know if we mentioned it before, but some people want to have a bench, sponsor a bench in the park.
well, I
What's your take on that? Ol?
feel that's a good idea, but I feel we need to get the tree
Oh, yeah.
program up
Oh,
and
yeah.
running.
Yeah.
Because once we get that really scoped in, then we can just transfer the bench program right into the integrate with the tree.
Yeah, because I really did,
Work off the tree.
yeah, because
program.
that's the reason I was asking, was not incorporating it in this
Yeah,
first bulletin.
yes. There's another issue along with the trees. That would be, some people just want to donate a tree, others would want a memorial tree, such as what I did.
Could I set a goal, goal timeline for this?
Yeah.
We're gonna have city council approval of the landscaper because it's over $5,000. So I'd like to set a goal of getting, we got 2 quotes already. We're supposed to have at least 3. Try to get one more company to bid on this for the regular April meeting, which is sometime in mid-April. And then if they vote on it then and approve it, we would have a company selected, a cost selected, and then we could put it in the bridge for the May version of the bridge. So that'll give us a month to try to get one more quote.
Okay, all right. And then should we work then later on, like, if somebody wants a memorial tree?
I think when you guys are working on the plan, it would have been the last
Yeah.
meeting we talked about, doing the trees. I think we're gonna have good support, so let's do the trees fully. And I do know of 3 people specifically that would like to do something similar to that. And we talked about, maybe making, if that's, hey, Tony,
Well,
let me put this on there real quick, for the record, 714, Tony has joined us. Tony, we're talking about the shade tree program.
Okay.
Specifically, we're talking about memorial plaques and benches right now, but I think what we discussed was maybe coming up with a standard, right? Whether we do, a post plaque or one in the ground. That way, so we get a little bit of uniform,
Yes.
because we did a
well,
really
they
good job
all
on
be
the
the
trees.
same.
Right, be all
Yeah.
the same, and then we could do the same thing. We'd have to, solicit quotes to do that, and then, and you could still put that as part of the tree program, or you can say donate tree, and then the memorial can come later.
Well, I think that's the way to do it. You
Yeah,
get the
and then,
trees
so we can
going
do the
first.
benches with it.
Yeah.
Let's get the trees in, let's get
Yeah.
them happy, going,
Yeah.
and then, because you can kind of roll us out into a phase, trees, the plaques, which people are gonna want, and then the benches, and we can go from there. But
Yeah.
I say, let's focus on the trees, like Jeremy said, let's get something for us to take to council in April, and something for us to include in the budget. So,
Okay,
You thinking of goal of presenting to the city council by May? Or is it more about getting the whole program?
Well,
Donations.
the council already approved the program. We just need them to approve the
Specific
landscaper.
to- Yeah,
yeah,
the contractors and
Yeah,
so forth.
they have to approve anything that's gonna cost over $5,000.
Okay. So I'll rework this again.
Yeah, if you wanna.
And I'll tell you what, if you get back to me after you've talked to the landscapers.
I
again.
will, if you guys are okay with, I will reach out to a couple more and see if we can get a third. I have all the specs that Jeremy sent me, the same thing.
Yeah, of course, ballpark.
Yeah, and we did reach out to more than 2 people last time. That's the only response we got. We might get a little bit of different response now. It's kind of the time for those businesses to start picking up. So I can reach out to a few more and see if we can get a third. And then I
Might get a
can give
better
you a
deal.
rough number to use, George, for your flyer, but before we take it. to
Yeah,
the
right,
council.
exactly.
But yeah, like Jeremy said, the program's already approved. That
Yeah.
That part's gonna happen. We're just establishing, we gotta select somebody because as a
Yeah.
whole, the project's gonna be
Yeah.
over our spending authority. So,
So that's good.
okay,
All right,
All right.
I have a question. Are we gonna do a volunteer cleanup the park day?
we are gonna talk about that.
We're not there yet.
Yeah, we're not there. We're on the very first item. But yeah, I think that's something we need to
Oh,
discuss.
okay, I
Yep.
walked in late, I'm sorry.
Nope, no problem.
Yes, you did.
Okay.
Shame on you.
All right. And in the meantime, should we discuss this canvas shade temporary thing?
I think we should at least open it for discussion tonight. We're not gonna be able to make any decisions.
Right.
But I did do a little bit of research. I told you guys I would on the side. Paul has been given the books that I thought were lost. I did some research online. And there's a lot of routes we can go. There's obviously a budget friendly, cost effective, maybe more temporary. Obviously,
Right,
we
yes.
know that the trees are gonna take a little
Yeah.
mature.
Yeah,
And then, there's the big fancy ones like you see at high-end parks that are very expensive, more permanent. Most of the top shade stuff, which is the brand they use, has about a 20-year warranty. So just to give you guys an idea, there's any shape you can think of in any type of mounting them, but most of them, we want up high enough to keep the kids and people from climbing on or vandalizing, anything like that. Just to give you a ballpark figure, the more budget-friendly ones on a temporary basis are between $5,000 and $10,000. But that's encompassing, when I looked at that, I looked at the entire playground area.
yeah.
That wouldn't be necessary, we could just do it over the play structure, or as long as there's some shade provided in that area, we don't have to encompass the
No, I don't
entire
think we do.
playground. Right?
No.
I'm staring at the park. I was thinking possibly 3.
Yeah, maybe like a
smaller
boom,
ones.
boom, boom, kind of, yeah.
Boom to cover the main.
because the
Yeah,
way
you
the
know,
sun
will
will be.
the little climb on slide thing in
Yeah.
particular, because you've got younger kids there and
Yeah.
it takes them longer to get up and get down, so. I think that's
So
one place.
what I'll do, we'll move forward with the trees, but
Yeah.
in the meantime, I shared with you a few of those.
Yep.
I will send them out just to the parks committee, just so you guys can look at them, just to get an idea, and I will give real rough ballpark figures. This is obviously something that will have to be budgeted, of course.
Yep.
But I will give you guys some ideas just to look at, and then everybody can take a look at the shape booklet there just to see. But if we want to stay more on the temporary side, which I think we should, we need to put a lot of money in the infrastructure for something that maybe
Right.
in 10 years, we might be just taken down.
Yeah.
Or we could be wrong, you guys might love it, so, but everybody wants to look at that. I'll throw some ideas out to you guys in an email. We could talk about it in the next meeting. And kind
Okay.
of move forward with that.
Yeah.
If you're okay with that?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay, does that sound like a plan? Okay, I'll send myself a note real quick. Shannon, do you have any questions? I keep switching screens there, so.
I don't think so. Well, actually, yeah, I have one. So these are coming in donations and people can donate money for the tree. I'm assuming it's a set amount that they're going to be donating for a tree. It's not going to be like people can come in and donate a smaller amount. Is that correct?
I kind of thought about that similar, maybe 2 families or something could maybe go together, but as of right now, kind of what we talked about was there's a set fee per tree. It doesn't mean it has to be one person purchasing that, of course. But maybe if it's not as popular as we think it's gonna be, that option we look at, donate, a partial tree, maybe you break it up into thirds or fourths, and you have people who want to be a part of this who maybe can't afford let's just say for numbers, we get them down to 500.
Mhm.
So maybe you have a couple of people that come together and they all pitch in, and you have 4 or 5 people, whether they're, you know, friends or just in the community. I think that's something we can look at too, depending on how popular it's gonna. I think we have a lot of people interested in it, so. But yeah, that's a good.
Okay,
question.
thank you.
Yeah, because I'd incorporated that in this bulletin as well to cover that, just
Okay.
in case, because there are probably people that want to go anything and share with some other family, not necessarily a memorial plaque, just that they want to get a tree and
Yeah.
share, you know.
Great.
All right. Okay. We did a walkthrough on Rolling Rock and Paul Fisher Park in February. And we came up with a to-do list or items that we felt needed some attention at each park. And I gave you guys a copy. I don't know if George has, yeah, George has a copy.
Yeah. Yeah. Mhm.
And did you like one, Jared? I gave you one, didn't I?
Yeah, we have electronic. I had it emailed to me in there.
Do you have a hard copy with you?
I do. It's just for you. Shannon, I don't know how to get this through this.
You show it, there's a little hole there.
This
I mean-
I know, I
apparatus.
was like, I don't think I have a copy.
Shannon, I can send you an email right now if you have access to email.
I
Just so you
do.
can- What is your email?
It's S as in Shannon, and then F as in Frank, A, S as in Sam, S as in Sam, 321@gmail.com.
Okay, I'm sending it to you right now. So SFAS.
Yep. Got it.
Right. So I did not walk through Rolling Rock. I did walk through Paul Fisher because I've been staring at it for 26 years. So I pretty much know what needs to be done at Paul Fisher. And a couple of you guys, you did go through Rolling Rock.
Got yours and Joe's.
That was a three. That was mine.
George, Joe.
Mine's a top sheet. And the ones I went through and saw. And yours, second, George. Oh, yes.
So Hall, I think if you want, if you're fine with the Hall, why don't you just go down them real quick by park?
All right.
If you're okay with that.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. So Shannon, you weren't there, so we walked through Rolling Rock and we came up with some projects to be done at Rolling Rock. That being the east end picnic table seat almost on ground. Should the benches be varnished? East gazebo, the barbecue tilted. Weeds around the bathroom, outside of caboose needs to be cleaned. Wet low display roof near the stage is covered in moss. Should we get a garbage bin for the stage? There is often garbage around there. And then Paul Fisher Park, we came up with benches under the gazebo need to be painted. Weeds are in the playground. Water mains need to be below grade. There's a missing swing on one set. Broken benches by City Hall. Blackberries between City Hall and Park. Sorry, I couldn't make it Saturday. And then I don't know, what I had was pretty much the same thing when I walk through, place the wellheads below grade. Paint the picnic area and restroom doors, replace and repair benches with composite material, which I have a price list on that. Instead of just wood. Repair playground curbing and renovate the lawns. And George did a walkthrough at Rolling Rock. Give a coat of paint on the caboose, hold it over until we get all the information needed to restore it. Possible use tourist money toward the cost. Paint the bathrooms, broken light shade on post between bathroom and covered bridge. Benches need to be re-wooded, use new composite material. Child's picnic table needs to be reset, it's falling over. Path at the east end, Pioneer Street, cracked again, could be dangerous. Circular path around the arch wheel display is broken into several large pieces. Log at the northwest entrance, Moss Street. The stencils on the log rings need to be redone. Display information. Reference Douglas fir is fading. Try to see if it can be duplicated. Welcome to Lowell at northwest entrance needs to be refurbished. Possible Lady and Oak Ridge could do this. Don't know what that means. Repair chains on the caboose steps. So that's kind of what we came up with. So,
Well, let me make this easy for you and take a few things off here.
right,
So the broken lamp has not been addressed, but it is being looked into. J&K actually had a spare globe last time, so they're gonna look into that again.
Another one
You
there.
guys know how that got broke. I do want to have one question before we go any further about the fire pits. We've talked about this in the past,
yeah,
about eliminating the fire pits, for obvious reasons. One, we don't like them to be used in the fire season time, and the only two times, with the exception of when I first started, I've seen them used was in the middle of summer. So
Yep.
We do keep them clean, as you guys know, but usually they just become a garbage bin or graffiti thing. So, but we can talk about that later. A lot of the stuff on the east side of the park, as you guys know, the city's gonna sell everything east of Cannon. So it doesn't mean we don't need to deal with the safety hazards on the sidewalk. I agree, the trip hazards, we did note them in our walkthrough this month for the parks and safety inspections. Last time for the Welcome to Lowell sign, we reached out to the school, the wood shop program, so that's another one we could possibly reach out to. And there was one on the Rolling Rock Park, Paul Fisher Park, the wells. My staff will take care of that. We are in the process of getting quotes for the wells. I spoke with the city administrator. So that the city staff will take care of that, and we'll get the wellhead sunk down to the ground. But I think for a lot of this other stuff, non-monetary value can be dealt with what George was talking about, or Tony, about doing the parks cleanup day. So like the weeds, the painting and stuff, that's a good time to kind of roll into some of those. So
yeah,
one of the, I guess, most noticeable thing I noticed that was sort of through a lot of parts of benches, like would that be something you guys take care of, or is that a separate?
we can take care of that budget, or we can make it a park
Going the
project.
benches.
Yeah,
the
Oh, yeah,
benches,
we could, this is a
Or we
good
could do it.
opportunity to try and get people roped in, because we can saw it all up there and
Mhm.
screw them on.
Yeah.
well,
You know.
yeah, but I don't want to go just with wood.
No, talking about the composite.
Yes,
yeah.
Well, it needs to be composite.
and I have somewhere I have a price list on, because I went to Jerry's, I did get a price list on composite dimensional type lumber that we would have to order.
Okay.
But apparently, it's my understanding that be sawed with a skill saw, just like
It can be.
Yeah.
regular wood.
Yeah, Tony's
Solid
very
and
familiar with
grilled,
it. Yep.
Yeah, build decks with it.
So
Okay,
I'll let you guys know what we're looking for. What we're looking for is out of all the things there, minus janitorial and stuff like that, we need a priority list.
yeah,
Yeah.
From the five of you, for one to take the city for budget committee and stuff.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to look at those collectively, and set priorities, and then we can worry about the costs associated with the priorities afterwards. But we need a kind of a common direction. A lot of these things, you know, are not monetary, they're volunteer hours based, you know, maybe a little paint and stuff, but like the weeds, those kind of things, you know, that doesn't cost anything. So we can keep them low priority, or we can make them a part of a parks cleanup day like we talked about. So if you guys want to look at that and just between yourselves amongst, I'll take some notes here so we can have something on our end to move forward for consider for budget and everything else. And then-
I think the picnic benches and the picnic tables and all that stuff
Sure, that's.
needs to be up at the top.
So can we maybe do
And
like
the caboose too,
two categories, one
because that
for,
caboose is really falling apart. When I helped Tim put up all those lights around it,
So folks, what Max is going to do is he's going to, if y'all could pick out from this list, this to-do list, 10 of your priorities from highest to lowest. He's going to type it up on this recommendation sheet and we're going to send that along to council so they can approve it. And then that gives me, that gives Max, that gives the budget committee a common direction on what your priorities are.
We're not including the trees in this, are we?
No,
because we
no,
know
no.
what, that's a different thing altogether.
That's a
Yeah.
whole separate issue.
So yeah, I would focus on, and you guys might have some other
Yeah.
things since you're walkthrough too, but
I would agree with Tony that the benches are pretty high priority.
yeah, because that's something that kids will get hurt on once they
so
start.
we're referring to both parks then, right?
Yeah,
So the
yeah,
park-
yeah.
Okay, so
yeah.
we'll do benches. Are we including, is that just the benches or we're gonna do the tables and benches? What's the common?
Well, we might as well do them both at the same time while we got the tools out.
Okay, so
Okay,
park benches,
And then,
I guess they're picnic tables, right?
yeah,
yep,
then reset the child's picnic table, that little one.
Okay.
It's in,
I'm gonna put resurface, just for now, we can fine tune, Jeremy can fine tune this,
Yeah.
resurface / paint and repair. Okay,
okay,
so we'll make that, we can move these around as we go along. We'll make that priority one for now. Everybody's in agreement with that. Obviously, that has a dollar amount assigned to it, so, okay.
I think the caboose looks like it's getting slowly damaged.
Once a month, we need to have it painted. I mean, put a coat of paint in it temporarily, just to brighten it up till we kind of can figure out the details of really doing it properly. But
Yeah,
that's a special need, that's a historical site, right?
it is, yeah, yeah.
So it has
What are we
to be-
talking about?
The paint
Yes,
on the
the
caboose,
caboose.
the
Okay.
temporary to begin with, just to brighten it up. Then when we've got the details on how it should be done,
Yeah,
then we can come back with those details.
but the priority right now is to get the damn thing painted.
Painted, right.
Okay, so paint the caboose,
Paint the
well,
caboose.
clean and then paint the caboose. Okay, so
I suggested power wash it and George said, no, it'll fall apart.
I agree. We do have a very low abrasive. Last time when we cleaned the graffiti off, we did like, you know, and it's in,
It's a lot of that is really
Very
a
poor shape.
hand job to clean that part up without ripping up the wood, you know.
Yeah,
And then put in some good under seal to cover it up if we can't get it all off.
well, good coat of primer.
I would think number 3, since we're working on the caboose, we should do repairing the change on the caboose steps.
We've got that on the list, but
Well,
That-
we're doing priorities.
got that on my personal list to do, you know, but if you want to put it on there, that's fine.
well, but there's gonna be a cost associated with that.
Oh, I take care of that. It's a paper
Okay,
chain and put
that's-
it on.
Yeah, that's your
All
call.
right,
Yeah, just get that done.
So on the painting the caboose, I've already spoke to George Watt about this in conversation with city administrator. We are gonna remove a blotch from the underside that doesn't have sun fade to get a close paint represented as we can. So I can at least, I can get a dollar figure on that for you guys for the amount of paint, and I'll throw in a few supplies. You guys will need to decide if that's something we do with volunteers or something, you know.
Yeah.
Which I would recommend, obviously, to get people involved, but.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay, clean and paint caboose. What do we got for number 3 here?
All about the log, re-stenciling the log.
Okay. Everybody in agreement with that for now? Like I said, we can move these around. We'll
Yeah,
get
yeah, I
some
think
room.
it's a good idea to
Okay.
get them on first and then we can go back.
I think missing the seat for the kid on the swing is also up there.
Yeah, I did forget to mention, Shannon, we, city staff has purchased that. We went to install that, but we are waiting for a bracket that connects the chain to the pin. So
Ah.
we do have the replacement swing.
Okay.
So what was number 3?
Re-stencil log, and I spelled that way wrong.
So
Re-stencil the log.
it's some there somewhere.
Re-stencil.
Display information.
No, that's not it. Stencil, that's it. Log at Northwest. You know, it has rings around it. And
They're sealed.
depicting years, what
Oh, okay.
happened at those years, you know, throughout the log, you know.
Yeah.
In year
Yeah, it
2000,
tells the pretty much history of.
year 2000, America was invented, you know.
Oh, okay.
things like that.
Hey, I have a contact with the forestry department
There you go.
who's interested in like the historical artifacts kind of stuff. Same thing with the display information. Would anybody here be interested in? And if I give you, connect them,
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And then we had the resident that reached out to us back in November. I sent you the email. It's all my Sheriff Parks. A local resident who's worked for ODF for many years offered to either sponsor or replace the placard. Somebody was referring to a placard that's wore out.
Oh, yeah, I didn't put it on there, did I?
I have the email. It is, somebody wrote on there. I have the email. I'll forward that. Remember, she reached out.
Yeah, good.
At the time, we weren't sure of the situation when we were at the park renovation yet, so we did reach out to her and let her know that we're currently in the process of going through a park renovation. That when we wrapped back to that, we would reach back out to her. We're still in that situation, but this would still be a good contact. She was willing to pay for it herself or at least be involved in it.
Yeah, that's at number 9.
Number 9, yeah,
Yeah,
yep.
you
So
know, there's a display.
Yeah.
It's like a porcelain, is it like porcelain? What is it?
it's
It's not Formica. no, not what is
it's a type of metal, but it's not.
it? Yeah, yeah,
Fiberglass. And it's
Yeah.
put over a board.
and it
Yeah.
tells you what's happening, you
Yep.
know. And they're all over the park.
Yeah.
So you've got somebody lined up basically. on that?
Yeah, somebody reached out to the
Kinda,
city,
sort of,
yeah,
yeah.
back in November, and
Yeah.
I'll share that with you guys. I'll have that forwarded, or at least we'll reach back out to them. But
All right, listen, I'm looking at rolling rock number 5, picnic table needs to be reset. It's fallen over. That seems to be a safety issue.
is that the one at the east end?
I have no idea.
This is number 5.
Metal, is it metal with the wood seats and table? Who wrote that one down? Number
Joe.
5.
I think I did.
Is
Yeah, it's
that-
a small one for the kids.
Yeah, by the
Yeah,
little
too.
bulldozer thing, kind of?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's my number.
it's kind of sunk, you know, it's just,
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I was
Yeah.
thinking about removing that, to be honest with you guys.
I-
The reason it's sunk, we have reset it before. It's in the swamp. We call it
it
the
must
swamp
be,
over
yeah,
there.
I wondered that, yeah.
And we have tried to move it. It just moved. It's heavy, the weight of it, so it shifts. So I've talked about removing that a few times. I wouldn't do it obviously without telling you guys. And then I got to thinking, well, we're in the future, we're not gonna have that side of the park anyways.
Terrible.
So do we
Big
want to
mistake.
dig it up and, you know, try to reconcrete a little bit, see if we can reset it?
Well,
I don't think it's used very
Well,
often.
Yeah, if we're gonna get rid of it eventually, why?
Well, and you know, it's been damaged. The bench was cut, so now it has 2
Right,
stools
right.
instead of a
That's
bench on
right.
one
There's
side,
not
because it
four-
was
there's
broken
not a
years
bench.
ago.
It's Four,
Yeah.
4 separate seats.
So we could remove that and fill the hole in.
Yeah.
If that's, okay,
Yep.
I will,
I think so. That's probably
okay,
the best.
so
thing
wipe
to
that
do.
one off the list. I'll put her on my hit list right now.
And I mean, maybe we have to discuss this more, but I feel like the barbecue thing should get removed too, but And one of them's,
What do we have to do to move those? Because
one of them's sort of tilted.
Yeah,
Looks like it
Yeah.
might be.
they're just in concrete, I
Are they?
think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
because-
can cut them off and grind
and
it.
the thing is, if people want the barbecue, they can bring their own. That way they're not going to have to leave
Well,
it.
they never get used.
I mean, their own
Oh,
personal
yeah.
ones, you know.
They never do get used.
Should use one.
See, I've seen them a couple of times when I've been by.
Well, yeah, but you know who uses them.
Yeah.
So is
So
that
are
a,
we going to take those out? then?
is that a common consensus for you guys? Jeremy, is that something we will be able to do? Obviously remove the barbecue pits. Okay, yeah, if you guys, staff can take care of that. We have the tools and everything. If that's a common consensus to you guys.
Go ahead and put it on there.
Okay, so we'll put that as priority for us. Not, won't cost anything, but okay, so remove.
Well, something that needs attention, so I guess it
Right,
should be on.
yep, we need to have a priority, okay? So remove fire pits and gazebos
Maybe you could sell them or something.
or donate them.
Yeah, do anything.
Somebody probably wants them on a pole. You put them off at the bottom
We'll just call it gazebo.
and grind them down.
Let's throw them away.
Okay, what we got next?
How about paint the bathrooms?
Think about
Yeah, that's on the list too. Yeah.
we both parks, specific park,
Well, both they could do with a
Okay.
coat of paint, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
paint, bathroom, facilities.
What, the door in the supply closet, Rolling Rock,
I'm surprised nobody wrote that up. We've talked about this for years. The doors at both sets of parks are on auto timers. Set to lock and unlock at a certain time. But they are so physically vandalized that they're impossible to use. So typically my staff locks them and unlocks them. In summertime, we do not lock them at nighttime, obviously because it's daylight till 10:30. That there is definitely a cost associated with that. So that's not just replacing the mechanism, it's replacing the entire door. We talked about it in the parks renovation. Obviously, it was included in that for Rolling Rock Park. So if you guys want to make that a priority, we can at least do some investigating and put a dollar amount to that. The janitorial closet at Rolling Rock Park has been broken into 2 times since November. They did not steal anything, but they did get in there. So that's up to you guys if you want to make that a preference.
well, I don't know, I finally got in, by the way.
Right.
There's such a big gap there, maybe the door could be readjusted, so we don't have a big gap, and that way we don't have to send mega bucks on it.
If you want to make it a priority, at least look at them.
Yeah,
Is everybody in consensus with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
because I like to send people up from the bridge when I'm opening and closing the bridge, that we have a nice park up here with bathrooms with water in them, you know.
Okay,
I had a question for you, Max.
yeah,
What's the status on the men's restroom there at Paul Fisher? It's still locked,
because it is missing
the toilet
a,
and
so,
everything.
fixture. Yep, yep.
And I thought you had something on order.
We did not because the price is astronomical. We talked about. So I should probably show this guys. We talked about making the restroom unisex. Specifically because we were gonna switch the men's restroom, which is the one that always gets vandalized, to a not vandalized proof, but vandalized resistant. They're literally the fixtures they put in prisons. They're very expensive. About $3,500 to get installed. There's some changes that have to be made in the wall so that they can't get to the water and everything. But yes, the toilet is cracked. This is the 3rd time the toilet has been broken. It's very expensive to have a plumber come out and replace the toilet. We replaced one the first time by ourselves, and the second time it was damaged beyond repair so that our staff could not replace it. So that, I mean, if you guys, we can put that in there, that has a dollar amount assigned to it. But yes, the men's restroom at Paul Fisher Park is still currently closed. They have got in there twice, as you know, you've called me both times. Don't ask me how they get the deadbolt open, but
I don't know. But, I mean, I don't want to bust the park budget on this. So, yeah,
I do have the original quote that I sent to Jeremy, and it was a pretty penny.
Mhm.
We don't have to put that toilet in there. We can put a porcelain one again, but you guys know as well as I do, the chances of that happening again are very high. They took the curb from the park, that big concrete curb, and they busted the toilet. That's what happened.
You kidding?
Yeah,
Yep. Nothing better to do.
No, we're not joking.
so you want me to just put the toilet on here as a priority on number 7? We can go over costs and everything, something you guys can always move.
Well,
Up
at
to you
least
guys.
it's on an official list,
Right,
whether we
doesn't
get
have
to
to
it
be
or not.
the
Right,
prison
right.
resistant
At least
one,
we
you
can
know.
discuss it.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, what else we got here?
Well, that circular path around that arch wheel display. Is that something, I mean, I don't know. Terry Firma is supposed to be able to do that sort
The
of thing.
concrete,
Yeah.
so I'll have the concrete looked at.
Mm.
We have repaired a few spots on that, as you can see, over the
Yeah.
years. It's from
But it's pretty dangerous.
people driving the park. Yeah, it is a trip hazard.
Mm.
Okay, I will look at that. We can still put it on here, but I'll look at it.
Yeah. And I think the council need to see this so they're aware of what the parks are like.
Yeah,
Not necessarily it has to be fixed or whatever, but at least they can see that there are issues.
What's this Paul Fisher missing swing?
I got that thing, Kurt. We'll put that up. As soon as we get the last D ring in.
Right.
Yep.
That's what.
Whoever. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Whoever had the idea with the garbage can next to the stage, I think is a fantastic job because the kids are always hanging out over there. And granted, there'll probably still be trash on the ground, but you might get 50% of that trash put into a garbage bin if it was right there.
I'll take care of the garbage cans.
Good job.
We have 6 of them inside the stage, so I'll bring 2 of them out, see how that goes. Yep, no problem. I'll take care of that.
Put it on the list.
Yeah. That's a good idea to put it on when everybody sees it, but you know. And it also shows that we get to work here and get things, you know, observe what's going on.
Yeah, I don't even go there.
All right, what else we got?
You're taking care of the water, the wellheads, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Put it on the list.
Whoops.
I think the only, I mean, there's just weeds around different areas like blackberries and weeds around. Both parks have these little areas of weeds, mostly transition areas. That could be done on a work day.
Yeah, that can be one of our beautification days.
I'll put it on here so you guys have it as a priority and you can include it in a park day or just maybe a volunteer day, just in general.
Yeah.
Put that in parentheses, the beautification, park beautification day.
What's the repair playground curbing? What's wrong with the curbing?
It's a mess. Toward the end, headed toward the restroom, we're talking about Paul Fisher Park, I believe.
Yeah,
And,
okay.
Yeah, big chunks of it have been busted off.
Yeah, and it's broken several spots as
Yeah.
well, but yeah, it's the elevated curb that holds the ADA wood chips in, and it's been there for a long time, but some of it's new, and you know, they took the rocks to break it, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Can I just thought about something? You know, all this vandalism. Aren't the cameras low enough to catch the faces of these people? Because we have cameras, don't we?
We do. Yeah, we do.
And
And
Yeah, we're gonna have to take a look at the camera policy. We've had a discussion about this a while back at council, but I will tell you guys, when the toilet thing happened, I did look. And there was lots of kids there, but it was not good enough to say who it was. So they were aware the camera was there, because he called me the night it happened. I walked over there. And I told him the cameras there, he's like, oh, and they looked right up at it, but yeah, the cameras there, the cameras were originally purchased as more of a deterrent. It's posted that we have them and everything. They are good quality cameras, but they don't capture everything, you know, and they don't get real good detail either, so.
Well, and once they get into the restrooms, you can't really prove that they did it.
Well, that's right. We don't have anything specifically, you know, right at the door of the restroom. It was more to observe the park as a whole. So they're wide angle pointing towards Paul's house actually, and then east and west to encompass the whole park. So, yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I often wave.
So the curb, put the curb on there. All right, what else do we got?
Because a lot of what we have on here is duplicated, so you've probably got probably most of them there, I think.
Yeah, I got it pulled up here. I can go over them real quick and then you guys can look at their lists again. So number one, we got the park benches and picnic tables, resurface / paint repair. Number two, clean and paint caboose. Number three, that's not how you spell it, but re-stencil a log. Number four, remove the fire pits and the gazebos. Number five, paint the bathroom facilities at both parks. Number six, the doors on the restrooms, includes the janitor closets. Number seven, the men's restroom toilet at Paul Fisher Park. Number eight, the concrete path at Roland Mark Park, trip hazards and cracks. Number nine, the garbage cans for the stage. 10, wellheads below ground. Excuse me. 11, noxious vegetation removal, possibly a park beautification day thing. And 12, curb or playground area at Paul Fisher Park.
Well, it's
Things
just-
we didn't put down the globe. I told you guys we'll take care of the globe.
Yeah.
And then the swing. We already have purchased the swing. We're still waiting on that. So
Yeah. All right.
Is the vegetation removal going to include the roof of the near the stage getting removed, the moss?
I'll put it on here, but yeah, just a reminder, but yeah, moss removal. That is which one is that? The one by the caboose?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Wetlow.
Mrs. Wetlow.
Okay.
Yeah. Mrs. Wetlow's roof.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. The only other thing I got for Paul Fisher, and this is a large project, would be to renovate the lawns.
Okay.
And it's a large area, but I feel like if it's too spendy, we can do it in sections. One year the section, next year.
And
next
we do
section.
have water now, don't we?
We do. Yep. Paul Fisher Park is currently being irrigated off the city, not
Yeah.
right now, but
Hmm.
Yeah.
and then we are working on quotes to get it switched to the well.
Which part would you want first, Paul?
Well, we need to get
The
that.
one by his tree.
But I'm just thinking, which, you know. You're not supposed to do that, Tony. But I mean, if we're doing it in sections, which would you think should be the first one?
Now, they're still talking about doing basketball courts at Paul Fisher,
Basketball.
basketball court?
Like with the master plan, you mean?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, there's a basketball court in the parks master plan, the concept plan. Yep.
Yeah, I have issues with that, but yeah, it's there.
Okay, well, I'd say that, yeah. Okay,
It's like the skateboard park.
then that make sure we don't reside that part.
We're not resodding anything.
Oh, and plant seed.
So there was originally talk about doing some thatching and aerating, some light soil movement, and then throwing seed, fertilizer, and water. And
Okay.
what Paul's referring to is the size of the park is pretty large, maybe breaking it down into sections first, like maybe the section right by where the kids toss the football, or maybe
Yeah.
where the horseshoe pitch used to be. I wouldn't worry about anything on the north side of the park, obviously along the fence, because that's a bioswale, but there is some spots that have some pretty good dips. We've been filling them in as we
Yeah.
do projects,
Okay.
but so he's referring to something like that. There's definitely a
Okay.
cost associated with that, you're right. But maybe that's a thing, you guys bring up for Parks Beautification Day, we can advertise it, you might get volunteers.
Well, that's a big job though.
It is a big job, but you have a lot of
And it
people,
takes machinery.
it will take machinery, yeah.
And so I would prefer landscape people to come in.
Get the fathers of these young children that's out.
Well, but my thought is this. Get an estimate of the whole park. Except where we're gonna sell the property. And then have them divided up, say into 3 different sections.
Yeah.
And get some estimates on those sections. Because we don't want to bust the budget all in 1 year.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, and that's why you guys are making the priority list.
Yeah.
You know. You got, there's some big ticket items close to the top of the list, you know, that are gonna need to be budgeted for sure,
Yeah.
so. And, you know, maybe 14, the lawn renovation currently where it's at now, maybe that's not for a 2 or 3 year project, you know. That doesn't mean we can't plan for it like you're saying.
Right. I mean,
And we
yeah,
might get funds between then and we were able to do the whole thing, but yeah, it's good to have a plan for it, yeah.
yeah, I mean, you can do one section 1 year, and next section the following year.
Yeah.
and, I mean, we're in no big
Right.
hurry.
Right.
It's been 6 years since it's been renovated, that I know of.
I agree.
Okay, so, anybody, anybody else have anything, or you guys gonna look at the list, see if you need changes on priority wise? I mean, it pretty much covers almost everything from the walkthrough.
I think so, yeah. Mhm.
Minus some general housekeeping stuff,
Yeah.
which isn't that big, but, you know. So it looks like the biggest thing, obviously, the park benches, picnic tables, the caboose, which we all agree on. The log, so kind of preserving the history of the park, get rid of the fire pits and the bathrooms. Of course, we all
And
know the
you
bathrooms.
Contact somebody, Jeremy, on the big log, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
And I have here, I went to Jerry's several months ago, and I have a price list on composite lumber,
Okay.
dimensional,
what's,
For the-
what's the
for the
thickness and
benches?
width? of
for the
those?
benches and possibly picnic tables.
Okay.
If we think they need to be replaced.
Okay,
It usually comes like 2x6s, 2x8s, 2x10s,
Yeah,
regular standard lumber.
yeah.
Oh,
And we may have to order them, but
Right.
that's no big deal.
yeah, and we can get hardware and stuff too from Fastenal or one of the supply fasteners. Yeah, or reuse the existing possibly, so, yeah. Okay,
It lasts so much longer, it's worth it in the long
yeah,
run.
it does,
Oh,
yeah.
yes, yes.
Well, you know that the playground equipment at Paul Fisher is all
Yeah.
composite,
Mm,
and they've been up there for years. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when Lucy was here.
So,
Okay, anything else for the list here, the priority list?
I think we've killed it.
I think we got it. Yeah.
Okay. Feeling pretty good about that.
Mhm.
okay. So, under other businesses, I don't know who has other businesses. Business.
Well, are we still gonna do a beautification of the park or give volunteers so we then?
Oh, yeah, we'll have a cleanup there. That's what we
Yeah,
mentioned.
so that's
Yeah.
what you guys, that'd be under other business. That'd be now, if you guys wanted
Yeah.
to talk about a date, recommending a date.
Yeah. Cause I know before we always did it like the first weekend in May.
We always did the first week in May, that's
Yeah.
right. It
Yeah.
doesn't have, we don't have to do that.
People have been asking me if we're gonna do that now that restrictions are being lifted.
Oh, yeah. Oh, great.
So, you know, I have no problem with the first weekend in May, or first Saturday. And, you know, we can get the word out and, because we usually get it, we haven't done it in 2 years, but the 2 years before that, we had real good turnout.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we did the most
We
recent one
painted
we
the
did.
bridges and all that
Yep,
stuff.
and then after that, we did the post office. That was a park cleanup
Yeah,
rehab.
Yeah.
So the first Saturday in May would be the 7th.
Mhm.
And in years past, or at least I've been part of 4 of them, usually what we did is we started somewhere between 8 and 10.
Mhm.
We kind of had the Parks Committee usually established a plan, what they were gonna do.
Right.
We had light refreshments and snacks, and then we almost always ended it with the barbecue.
Yeah.
Have to, but I'll tell you, when you mention food, more people come out, so,
And the city manager is always the city administrator is the
is the chef.
chef.
It's pretty good.
He's a flipper of the hamburgers. However, having said that, it's good to do it then because the following week is the Pac-12 rowing.
Oh, yeah, the
that's
regatta.
right, yes.
Oh, the Pac-12.
Yeah,
Okay,
so it would behoove us to
Yeah,
clean up before then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
so in the past, we focused on both the parks, the pork chop medians at Mawson. There's one at Mawson, there's one at Pioneer.
Right.
We've always done the weeding of that. Another thing that we haven't had in the past is we have this current facility. That, you know, it's been being upkept right now by volunteers, but that's always a thing. The vegetation was just pruned recently and that would be weeded, but. So we got a little bit more real estate, so. But if you guys, if everybody agrees on a consensus on May 7th. What do we need for that, Jeremy? Is that just a? What do we need for, if they want to do a parks cleanup day, May 7th? Do we need anything official? Okay,
Just put it in the bridge, really. is
yeah,
what we
okay,
do.
so if
Yeah.
everybody's in agreement with that, we can
Get it in the
get it
middle of the bridge.
advertised and,
Yes.
Bridge.
and have them meet somewhere at 8.
yeah, you can do 8. I mean, it doesn't have to be 8, but depending on how hot of the year is, you can do 10. We need a, obviously need a.
I think
list of
10
things.
o'clock's too late.
Okay, so
I really
I'm
do.
fine with 8.
We
If
need to
we,
get
uh,
working, we need to get cracking.
If we're gonna do
Yeah.
plants like we did in the years past, we'll need to know ahead of time so we can go to the nursery and get some.
Yeah.
Last time they were donated by the school. The school greenhouse program, all those we planted, you know, so.
Maybe we could have for the school take care of those 2 islands.
Well, you know what? You guys have somebody that has something to do with the schools on
Yes,
your
we do.
parks committee.
That's why we nominated her.
So,
Yeah,
so
Shannon.
they could do that because it'd be a good project for the green.
Would be a good volunteer
Yeah.
hours for the
And get them
students.
involved in this.
It's good that's good timing for our seniors because that's about the time that they start going through panic, that they don't have their volunteer hours. So we could definitely get them and yeah, I mean, I can round up quite a few scrapping young men to come help.
Have them.
Okay, so somebody
Then
needs to maybe collectively make a priority list and get it so we can get the announcement on Facebook and stuff, so. You know, besides the normal weeding at Paul Fisher, Rolling Rock Park, medians, you guys wanted to do something outside of that. In the years past, we have spread bark, we've spread ADA chips. I do not know if we budgeted ADA chips this year or not. Jeremy, do you know? Okay, so that's a little bit of a cost, but. So yeah, if somebody.
well, it looks nice in that center circle in Rolling Rock Park.
That
Chips
was
in that,
the
yeah.
Mountain View Academy that did that last year,
Yeah.
yes, that is
So there
beautiful.
again, we need to probably
112 plants in there.
contact them again to
Okay,
upkeep it.
yeah, usually like Shannon said, that's about the time they reach out to us.
Yeah,
They like to do one event annually, so
that'll be good. Your kids go there, don't they?
No, they go to Bridge.
they go to, yeah, BCA.
All these schools, you know. All
Yeah, I
these
know,
schools in
so-
town, you know. it's-
Give out another one. make more cookies.
Okay, so it's agreed, we'll do May 7th.
Yes.
We'll do 8 for now unless we hear different, 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
And we'll need a little bit more information before then, but usually we meet it. Last time we split the 2 groups, actually, we had half meet here and half meet there, but so,
I
okay.
think it'd be better to all meet at the same place this time because it became very fractional.
So Jordan, do you wanna send out an email, maybe work some details out between everybody? You don't have to have a meeting for it, and then send the email to Jeremy and myself. So we can also get advertised, maybe in the bridge, if you guys can have something by the end of the month. At least we can put it in the April one, because the May one won't be out yet. Advertised on Facebook, we can put the postings up as well. Just want to shoot a brief email, you know, Parks Cleanup Day, May 7th, 8 o'clock, focus on this, and this.
Yeah.
Maybe,
I'll Maureen do that, yeah.
you go with that?
Yeah, I probably won't be there, unfortunately.
Oh,
On the
sure.
7th. But I'll be working very hard the weeks prior to that, trying to clean the caboose up so we can paint it.
Okay.
Because we really need to get that done
Yes.
before the week after, you know, when, before the regatta. Regatta or whatever. you
Quite
call
an
it.
eyesore.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so good on that. Anything else on other business?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Not that I can think of.
Okay, so
Oh,
just a quick,
George,
Yes, sir.
do you want to do the weekend before May 7th? Do
I-
we just work on the caboose?
I don't know. I
Okay.
kind of think it through a little bit here.
Okay, or do you just want to make a date where it's just caboose only and then we can concentrate on that?
We'll have to do something
Without,
like that.
you know, everything going on, you know, we just do that as a separate project.
Yeah, I don't think you want the kids.
You'd have to do it
No,
as a separate project,
Yeah.
you know, a bit at a time.
Yeah.
Kind
Because if
of-
we could have the caboose done before all the planning goes in. And then, you know, that would be. Because I'd be willing to help out with the caboose run, painting and everything,
Appreciate that.
so.
okay, nothing more further business?
Not that I can think of.
All right.
Anything?
I do not have anything else.
Let me just see. if
Does,
anybody-
does Sharon have a copy of the parks plan for the trees?
Oh, thank you.
Sorry, Jeremy. Go ahead.
No, I'm done.
Oh, I was just seeing if there's anybody for public comments. then.
No, I'm just wondering if Sharon had a copy of this, our plan now where we're going to put the trees. I don't think she's got
Oh,
it.
Shannon, did you get a copy of the map of the tree layout?
I think I did in my last, when I went there, last time, you guys had a copy of it in there.
Okay,
With the extra trees in?
I think she was here. at the meeting.
They,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she was, yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure you got everything.
thank you.
Okay.
All right. Anything else?
I don't think so.
All right, then we will adjourn this meeting at 8:10.
Very good.
Yeah.
Thank you, Shannon.
Good night, Shannon.
Yep.
Night,
All
Shannon.
right.
Bye.
When can I meet with you? Oh, she's
See
gone.
that. Right to the top of the-
Tough luck.
Just
That wasn't a very hot day, was it?
Well, if you want to get